I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture.
Welcome, everybody, to our video game book club, part 1 of Bioshock. This is my game, so I'm just going to keep it. We'll start moving through here because I'll be honest with you, I'm so fucking excited we are doing this video game.
It is your favorite game of all time.
I'm glad I'm finally playing it.
So many notes on this game.
I have notes on this game as well.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. So we'll just get into it. So this game was released in 2007. I realized that
and its first title was Ken Levine's Libertarian Paradise, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I will be playing this on PS3. I have Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite that includes Bioshock 1. I also include the Steam versions of the originals and the remasters, and I have them on the PS4. I have this game a lot of places. I also have Infinite, the Collector's Edition, which also includes Bioshock 1 on the 360 in, like, my drawer over there. Dude, I have so many copies of this video game.
You could have went your whole life never saying that sentence.
So, I would say, to be fair, when Infinite came out, nobody knew how bad it was going to be, okay? So, that's what happens.
That's true. You know what? Hey, that's true. No one did know. That's fair.
Nobody knew. So, released in 2007, developed by 2K Boston and 2K Australia, or Irrational Games at the time. This, fun fact, is the third highest rated game of all time on the 360. So it's a 96 on Metacritic. Number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 5 with a 97, and number 1 is Grand Theft Auto 4 with a 98. So
speaking of, really quick, Press, did you picked up Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah, I missed a little bit. I forgot to talk about it in the week, so we can talk about it next week.
Right,
I'll play it.
That's fine. No. I just wanted to make sure you got it while it was on sale.
Yes.
You know, the number 1 rated game on the Xbox 360, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Number 3.
No, it said it was. He just said
it was.
It was.
Yeah. No, Bioshock was number 3. Grand Theft Auto 4 was number 1, oddly enough.
It's not a bad game.
All I remember from the PlayStation version of that is that it had the absolute worst driving mechanics of any Grand Theft Auto game up to that point.
It plays
different.
different.
Anyway, we're not here. Okay, we're not here to talk about Grand Theft Auto.
We do not have the time
to
talk
about Bioshock. No. So let's just get into it. So this game opens with a cutscene that shows our protagonist. His name is Jack. We get this from the present he holds up to look at on the plane. But we're flying over the mid-Atlantic as it says 1960. He's looking at a photo of him as a boy and his family, and he says, "They told me as a boy, son, you were born to do great things." And you know what? They were right. Right then, we hear people off in the background start to scream, and we hear engine sounds, and the screen goes kind of black, and there's like water splashing, and then Bioshock pops up on the screen, and again, there's some rumbling, so clearly the plane is not doing too well over the mid-Atlantic and crashes in the middle of the ocean. Next thing we know, Jack is underwater, and the plane is kind of sinking around him, and this is your first time to control this, so you start swimming up to the top. The water is covered in flames, oil is everywhere, but as you look over, what do you see? A lighthouse peeking up out of nowhere, just in the middle of the ocean. We can assume that we didn't just randomly go down, we probably hit said lighthouse, although If you hit the lighthouse, you probably wouldn't
It's a
fall.
very tall lighthouse.
Right
I
there.
don't think you assume that at all. I thought that it was just my
Something
assumption
happened.
is that a random weather event hit the plane.
Maybe it's never really fully said, and it's not like a Bermuda Triangle, right? Like
Well,
things just don't go down there. So, you're
Uh-huh.
either way. Swimming forward, we see this huge lighthouse. We go inside and we start walking down some stairs. So we start to walk down the stairs. Automatic lights just turn on. They illuminate this huge figurehead with a banner that just says "No gods or kings, only man." God, I fucking love this game. Reaching the bottom, we see.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We see a submersible, so naturally we get in. These things are called bathyspheres. They're little personal submersibles.
Naturally, we get it.
We're gonna. I mean, where else are you gonna go? You're not gonna go back in the ocean. So we're gonna use these bathyspheres from time to time to like travel between where we're going, travel between environments. So as we hop in the bathysphere, we're going down, and a photo pops up from a projector on the side. And a little video pops up, and it says, "I am Andrew Ryan. I am here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?" "No," says the man in Washington. "It belongs to the poor." "No," says the man in the Vatican. "It belongs to God." "No," says the man in Moscow. "It belongs to everyone." I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. In one of... The window opens right at this point, and we see a massive underwater city, and I will hear no arguments about the fact that this moment, especially back in the day, and honestly to this day, it is one of the greatest openings in video game history. Sure. I'm not saying it's the best, but it is absolutely up there with just incredible openings.
Very well done.
Because the city underwater is massive. An incredible reveal, still holds up, even though I'm playing on the PS3 with these older graphics. Ryan continues, "A city where artists would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. With the sweat of your brow, rapture could be your city as well." As we continue moving in the water, we hear a voice come over the intercom, and we don't know who it is, although we're kind of spoiled if you have the subtitles turned on. A man named Atlas is talking. We hear him say, "But the lighthouse is all up like hellfire. Looks like a plane crash." Then another voice named Johnny is like, "We're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. How could it? I don't know. Best get over there and be quick about it. Splicers are coming." And Johnny's like, "You have to be kidding. How do you know someone's even coming?" He says, "Because we have a bathysphere on its way down. And that means we got company." So right then, we pull into an airlock. Jack pulls into an airlock. The sign just says, like, "All good things flow to the city." Very reminiscent of, like, "all roads lead to Rome" sort of thing. So you're starting to get an idea that, like, whoever created this place has a very high opinion of themselves. And we get a Chapter 1 title card. Welcome to Rapture. So our little like loading screen title cards, there's not defined chapters, but these will be our just generic chapter playthrough. So as we come up, we hear some more dialogue between Johnny and Atlas, and we come up to see, we assume it's Johnny walking backwards, and there's a person walking toward him. So Johnny's walking like toward the bathysphere with his back to us, and this person's walking to him, and the room is dark. It's only lit by like the water and the light of the city coming through the window in the background. And there's like some flashes, like electrical flashes going on that illuminates the stuff around us. And then all of a sudden, this thing just reaches out and slices Johnny across the belly with a fish hook. And he goes down. And this thing looks at us as like, "Oh, someone new." It jumps onto the top of the bathysphere, and it tries to pry its way inside for a moment until it realizes it can't. And it jumps down, and it runs away. However, luckily for us, the damage it did opens the bathysphere door automatically, so now we can walk out. Before we do, we hear a voice saying, "Would you kindly pick up the radio?" So we have a little bit of a Irish, Scottish voice. I don't know how you
clearly Irish.
Very Irish.
But
Hey,
Yes.
I don't know how you survived the plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence. I'm Atlas.
Oh.
I aim to keep you alive.
That's the whole thing.
I won't.
We have multiple parts.
And he's narrating the entire time.
I also, just for funsies, I did not use a guide for this game. Like I went back and did stuff for the notes. I did not use a guide for the actual playthrough. By this point, I don't actually need it. But he says, now to keep moving.
I get to hear Preston saying, "Oh, good for you."
The arrow helps.
So he's like, we're going to have to get you to higher ground. Take a deep breath. Step out of the bathysphere. I won't leave you hanging in the wind. So he tells us we need to draw that thing out of hiding. But we have to trust him. So this is our tutorial. We'll kind of navigate around. We make it to a blocked off area in the lobby. And that thing that ran off starts walking toward us. And right as it does, Atlas kind of calls this little flying turret copter out. And it's just kind of like, take that, you son of a bitch. And it starts firing bullets. And this thing scales the wall and runs off and escapes. So he tells us, like, hey, would you kindly go ahead and find a crowbar or something? Those bloody splicers sealed Johnny in. So we now need to go find where these people are. And we know that's what these enemies are. They're splicers. So we find a wrench, continue to the next floor, and this is where we get our first chance to fight, where we just beat the splicer down with a really, really heavy wrench. And we're going to learn a skill in a minute that gives you a little 1-2 punch combo here. It is completely viable to use this entire game, by the way. So what difficulty are you guys playing on?
Normal for now.
Normal.
Okay. I'm playing normal as well. I don't know if it still holds. It used to where you could play the game on normal, get to the final fight before you go in the final room, knock it up to hard, and you would actually get the achievement for hard. I have no idea if that still exists, but it might.
I am.
I'm surely not doing that. I'm having a hard enough time on normal.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we actually get there. There's not a cheese you can do for that, but there is a. I just remember doing this. There's still a strategy that I use when I play this game that I did when I was younger that just works every time. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But anyway, Christian, you were going to say?
No, I was saying I'm quite positive that the 2K did not do the work to patch that exploit out. I'm sure that. Yeah, I'm sure it's just fine. Yeah.
I'm sure not. So there are two difficulty. There are all a bunch of difficulty achievements, right? Normal, easy, whatever, hard. There was one harder than hard that I got, and then when you die, you use these things called Vita Chambers that bring you back. They're kind of like save points, restore points. There was an achievement that if you went back, I could look at my gamer tag, called Brass Balls, which is beating the game on the hardest difficulty without using a Vita Chamber. This game was my first ever 100% 1,000 gamer score game. Anyway, so in the background, while exploring the room, we hear this weird robotic voice talking about something called the Gatherer's Garden. So we continue to explore. These Gatherer's Gardens will be pivotal throughout the game. But we eventually make our way up some stairs, and we see this glowing bottle of something sitting inside this vending machine that says Gatherer's Garden up top, and a syringe. So naturally, as we stepped into the bathysphere, what would one do when you find a syringe of glowing liquid? You would clearly jam it the fuck in your wrist.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So we do. Lightning starts running up and down Jack's arm. Atlas tells us to be steady. Is like, your genetic code is being rewritten. No big deal. Just hold on. You're gonna be fine.
He does
Jack
say no big deal, and it's like, you're like, no, dude, this is very much a big deal.
So Jack is not holding on very well. He falls over the banister to the floor below, and he blacks out. Eventually, though, he starts to come to, and there's some splicers looking around. And as we're going in and out, the splicers come and go. Then something else comes in. A really big creature in like an old school diving suit, right? He kind of has a huge drill bit for one arm. And along with him is a creepy little girl, and it has red eyes. And the little girl calls this thing Mr. Bubbles. She's like, look, Mr. Bubbles, it's an angel. She's like, I can see light coming from its belly. She's like, wait a minute. He's still breathing. It's okay. I know he'll be an angel soon. And she just walks off as Mr. Bubbles makes his deep diving, noises, right? Which he does the whole time. We also notice, if you look closely, that she's carrying like a massive needle with a little tank of something on top. So clearly she's looking to harvest something, but not from anything living. We'll find more about that later. Now, when Jack finally gets up, he does have a crowbar in one hand, and then lightning in the other. And talking to Atlas, we learn that this is called a plasmid. So this is our core mechanic. We have ranged and melee, so you're kind of like melee could be a crowbar. You swap it out with some guns. There's a rocket launcher. There's some other stuff, but your left hand will always be some type of plasmid that you could use, kind of like magic, and you kind of seamlessly switch between them. You can't use them at the same time, so there's no dual fire, right? But you can. I see you shaking your head, Preston.
You got a pistol in one hand. I can use lightning in the other. Why do I have to swap back and forth and wait for the little boop animation? Like, let me go. Boom, done, solved.
Maybe you can't shoot a gun accurately while you're trying to shoot lightning out of your hand. So instead, you would shoot it and then you would aim with both hands, right? Like that could be.
He doesn't use both hands.
Could be
what
what it is.
That's fine.
No, you don't know. You can only see the top of the gun. The other hand might be on the bottom. You
Sure.
have no idea.
You know what? You're right.
I know. So continuing on, we get to another area where we get to put this stuff to the test.
This is gonna be something.
in what Atlas calls the 1-2 combo. So basically, shock the splicer with lightning, then hit it with a crowbar. For a lot of your enemies, like the leadhead splicers, which are the ones we run into, like for the most part of this playthrough,
The shooters.
That is like the shooters or the guys with the crowbars. They're both leadheads. Right. That's almost like an insta kill. If it's not an insta kill, it'll be like thwap thwap, and it'll kill it that way. I did make the note here, like this is actually viable throughout the entire game with very few exceptions. There's like one enemy that we'll talk about that this doesn't work on, but even bosses, like if you are willing to take a little bit of shooting damage, you can just stand up there and be like shock smack. It is viable. And on lighter difficulties, I think this entire playthrough, I pretty much did that whole thing. Guns just waste ammo. So you also learn pretty quickly that if you want, you can shock the water that they're standing in. That will also insta-kill them. That also is viable this entire game, and it's just super convenient when you're in an underwater city that is currently leaking. There is water.
That's the
everywhere.
best. I don't. We will get more into it. I don't know that I necessarily agree that like some of it is always perfectly viable with how the game makes you take damage sometimes, like just because. That though, like shooting electricity in the water, is
you should be doing
constantly good. It is
you should be doing that.
So good.
That's an option. You should be doing that.
Yeah. So we're not going to go from room to room. Don't worry. So from here we move linearly through the level, running into creepy splicers along the way that we have to deal with. We eventually hit an elevator, and Atlas comes back on the radio. He's like, "Listen, I've got a family. Like, I need to get them out of here. But the splicers have cut me off. So, like, if you can just reach them in Neptune's bounty, then maybe, just maybe." And he's like, "Look, I know you must feel like the unluckiest man in the world right now, but you're the only hope. Like, I'll ever see my wife again and my child. So I need you to go to Neptune's bounty, find my family, please." So that is what we're doing. We don't know where that is, but we know we're going to try and make our way there. We learned a little bit more about what's going on in the city throughout this playthrough, right? Like, plasmids really changed everything. There's some audio logs and Atlas talking back and forth. It's like, they destroyed our bodies, they destroyed our minds, we couldn't handle it. Best friends started butchering one another, babies strangled in cribs. This whole city just went to hell. And at one point, a little beyond that, we're reintroduced to what this hell actually looks like, right? So it's not just the splicers. We're reintroduced to Mr. Bubbles and what that little girl creature is. So we're above a room walking across some scaffolding like a catwalk, and Atlas comes up. He's like, "Careful now." He's like, "Would you kindly just put your weapon down for a minute?" And he's like, "You think that's a child down there?" He's like, "Don't be fooled. That's a little sister. Somebody went and turned that sweet baby girl into a monster. Whatever you thought about right and wrong on the surface, all that doesn't count for much. down here in Rapture. Those little sisters, they carry Adam, the genetic material that keeps the wheels of Rapture turning. Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. So
Arguably,
now,
the wheels of Rapture haven't been turning for a while, but okay.
yeah, so this is where we learn, like, hey, these are little sisters. They are collecting stuff. They're draining Adam from dead splicers, which is kind of like the stuff that runs through the veins that powers our plasmids. I'm not. We don't really get into anytime soon. Like, is this stuff? Does everybody have it? And they just found a way to harvest it? Is it something that's created and put into you? But right now, we just know that like those with plasmids have it. She's getting it off the dead splicers that went crazy from having too much of it. So as she's just kind of doing her thing, singing a cute little nursery rhyme, poking this dead body to get Adam out, we see Mr. Bubbles come in with her, and this time a splicer has made his way in the room and is trying to corner the little sister, and he hits her with the butt of his gun. She like drops to the ground, and Mr. Bubbles gets pissed. His whole helmet turns red. He goes running across the room.
I don't think that's Mr. Bubbles, but
they're all Mr. Bubbles.
I don't think so. I've heard different names as I've been playing.
You haven't. They're all Mr. Bubbles.
So you see the name Rosie pop up sometimes, but the little girl calls those things Mr. Bubbles, I think.
Rosie is the pre-fall of Rapture terminology for those autonomous creatures that helped fix Rapture, but the little sisters call them.
Okay, Mr. I thought I heard a different nickname for some reason, but
so he just smacks the splicer across the room. The thing flies, hits the wall, then he runs over and just puts his drill like right in its stomach, and then grabs it by the head and just smashes its head across the window twice until it breaks open and he kills the splicer. So the dude is dead, and Atlas says, that's a Big Daddy. So she gathers the Atom. He keeps her safe. Now we know Big Daddies are the only thing that 1-2 punch does not work on in this game, right? Like, again, bosses, it might take a couple more, but you can do it. These guys are too big. They're too fast. If you get too close, they'll use their drill and like knock you backwards and shoot and so on. So other than that, it works. So at one point in this first level, we're also attacked by a group of splicers, and Atlas is like, hey, this is Andrew Ryan, right? That guy you saw in the video, like, he's found us. Like, damn, he shut off the access to Neptune. But we can get there through medical, so you're going to have to take a little diversion, and that's where we're headed now. So we know that Rapture's in the middle of this power struggle, and it seems like Andrew Ryan is kind of holding on to his power by utilizing these splicers, maybe manipulating them. So, like, Ryan Industries created the plasmids. They also maybe control the flow of Adam. So you have the drug, you have the fix, you get them hooked. They do your bidding. That's kind of what's going on here. So the one thing we don't know, however, is if he's actually the one controlling the little sisters, right? So we know has the splicers under his control. We don't know if he's the one sending out the little sisters to control Adam, but we will learn more about that. So in order to get to medical, we have to cross an airlock, which serves as kind of our chapter break. But before it opens, we see a video where Ryan comes on and he's speaking directly to us. He's like, so tell me, friend, like, which one of these bitches sent you? Was it the KGB Wolf? Was it the CIA Jackal? Like, here's the news. Rapture isn't some sunken shit for you to plunder, and Andrew Ryan is some giddy socialite who can be slapped around by government muscle. And with that, farewell, or Dash Vidanya, whichever you prefer. So he doesn't know who sent us, but he's like, I'm not going to let you get close. I'm still not losing this place. Brings us to Chapter 2, title card, Medical Pavilion. In this level, we're still trying... Actually, let me pause there before I go, because, again, some of this does get faster. But from the opening to the first chapter, I'll take your thoughts, especially Preston, I know, since this is all new to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go...
Go ahead.
I'll go first, because mine will be shorter. So
okay.
All I'm going to say is, for the intro, I think I forgot how goofy the first part is. So all I have in my memory, right, is the Welcome to Rapture part. So, like, from the elevator down. Which, from that point on, let me just say that I completely, wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah. It is incredible. Like, the elevator piece, getting, like... just even the biosphere, like going through the ocean, like seeing the squid run by the front, like right in the beginning, and then seeing the signs, and then seeing the blue whale come through, like everything like that. I mean, I I agree with you. It's one of the best. I think if I would put it on the same list that I would say like the Kingdom Hearts 1 intro, right? Mm-hmm. For sure. I forgot about how goofy this like the beginning part of it is though, where just like he's on the plane, he's like, Jackie boy, you're gonna do great things, and it's just like, and then and then the plane crashes, whenever you're like, okay, like that, just whatever, and then you're swimming, and there's not even like a hint of like just an idea of why Jack is doing the things that he's doing. Like, at first, the plane crashes, you see the lighthouse, you go, well, this makes sense. That's the closest piece of land to me. I'm going to go swim to that, right? No need to give like an inner dialogue part about that, whatever. You can just go. When you get to the lighthouse, though, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that would compel you to get into a giant elevator sphere and be like, fuck it, and just like pulling it and just figure out where you're going. You would be like, no, I should wait and see like if somebody comes and rescues me from this fucking lighthouse. You know, like whatever, either way. But that whole thing aside, just it being a little goofy. Yes, everything from that whole moment, like getting in, is just so good. And then, yeah, everything else after that was just Bioshock as I remember it. It's just, I think that I'm playing on the PC, so I'm playing the remastered copy that I'm quite positive is from your Steam library, Alex.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
But I think that the only negative that I'd give to it, and this is not a negative against Bioshock at all, it's a negative just against this port. This PC port leaves a little bit to be desired. Like, there's basically next to no, like, even on the remastered,
made it work
like,
better and look better, I guess, a little bit on the PC, but it looks like there's not a whole lot done to it other than we optimized it for newer computers.
Yeah, there's barely any settings that you can change on it, and you're like, okay, like, I guess, whatever. And then the only other thing that I'll say is, I think, you brought this up during your thing about the intro, Alex, which is that the subtitles will actively spoil you. And this is just an old game design thing, but it is infuriating to me as somebody who, like, I do not need subtitles, but I've always liked them. I don't know. I always have them on. If I misheard
something, I want to be able to look down and say, okay, that's what that means.
Yeah, like Preston's watched movies with me before. Like I always have it on. TV shows, movies, game, doesn't matter. I will always have subtitles on. And just a little bit unknown bracket, like could have went a long way as opposed to just being like, okay, well that's Atlas and Johnny. All right, like I don't know because but that's not a Bioshock thing. It's just a game design thing. But yeah. But that's it. That's that intro's great. It's
it is. That intro is great. I mean, it's.
And then Preston's like, and that's where the good thoughts stop.
And that's where no, that's not like a positive stop. So I did a little research on this because I'm like, where did I play this? Like, I know I played it for a little bit. It wasn't very, very long. I'm like, looking, I can't find anything. No trophies on PlayStation. I'm like, okay. And I go into the Xbox achievements. And I'm scrolling all the way down. And I get down to around 2007. I'm like, okay, there it is. Bioshock. One of the first games I played that had achievements on it. I'm like, cool. That's cool. Because literally, it's like 3 games. Like some 2 little Xbox arcade games. And then like Bioshock is the first big game that had it.
That checks out. In fairness, this is an Xbox game. Like it came out everywhere, Bioshock is totally
but over the years and the generations, like I'm like, maybe I played it on PS4, maybe I played it on PS3. I'm like, no, I played it on 360. I actually got to defeating one of the first bosses, the one that starts with pink. I forget the full name, but we'll get to it in this part. It's like Pinkery or Pinkerton or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, because Peach is the character that we meet in the next part, I think.
So it might have been Peach. Yeah, it might have been Peach then.
Yeah, it's Peach.
It was by Peach. So I noticed I had an achievement for defeating them. I'm like, okay, well, I actually went through a little bit of this, apparently, like at least like an hour or two. I'm like, okay, so I did play it, but that's where it stopped, and I didn't have more achievements after that. I'm like, okay, I don't remember any of this. All I remember is going up to like where you get the splicer. I remember getting the plasmid. I remember doing a little bit of fighting there, and then after that, I remember zero about the game. But to be fair, that was almost 20 years. Like, we are at 19 years since I played this game, so that checks out. So I'm getting to the intro.
If the achievements stop there, do you think that you might have been like,
I might have not cared for the game. So we'll get there. So we're doing the intro, and I'm loving the intro, right? Intro is still holding up. Fantastic. The opening with like the whole, like, you know, the fishies going by and the big squid and everything. It's great. And the little tunnel you go into with all the like, lettering looks phenomenal. And then I start moving around a little bit outside, grabbing the wrench and stuff like that, and something feels off to me. Now, to be completely fair, we played a shooter just recently that is completely different type of shooter than what this game is trying to be. John or Jack, whatever the fuck his name is
Jack.
not BJ Blazkowicz. He is not
meant
some
to be.
fucking army dude. He's not going to dual wield assault rifles. I get that.
Nope.
I'm fine with that. For some reason, like, just moving around, like, I don't know if it's a strafing or what it is, just doesn't feel as smooth. I feel like I'm doing something a little tanky with this. There was a little bit of disappointment. I can't have plasmid and my pistol at the same time, but it's fine. It's just my personal tastes. But I am enjoying it. Like, I like the story in it. I love the aesthetic. The art design is incredible. After playing System Shock, I'm like, yeah, this guy took a game that he worked on previously and decided to make a whole new game, his own style, which is pretty much that game. Now, obviously, story is different. All right, story is not going to be the same from System Shock to Bioshock, but the name is there. The kind of intro is there. It's just not sci-fi. I thought that I totally forgot about this. But the whole, when you get a plasmid or like when you do have some like type of upgrade, like it goes into this like slot machine, like casino kind of sound going to it. And then it goes into a very like what I would consider Pip-Boy Fallout stuff. I'm like, man, like they just straight copped this from Fallout 3. No, Fallout 3 came out a year later. So it was just an aesthetic that they went with. I'm sure maybe Fallout 2 and like ones previously kind of had that aesthetic too. But I think it was like very, very Pip-Boy-esque, like to a certain point where it was like, this is very samesies. But I like that style. I like Fallout 3 a lot. So yeah, I'm playing through it, having a good time. I think right at the end of this part, I did have to drop it down to easy. I was just dying way too many times. I noticed that I was getting a lot of the chunks of health I would get hit with is like big chunks. I was running out of health things. I just got to the point like, you know what? I'm playing this for the Video Game Book Club playthrough. I hate when I have to go through and find out which one was my final run through of this level to like get for the game capture and stuff like that. So I put it on the easy, and you definitely can see the smaller amounts of health that you are now getting ticked down. I'm like, thank you. This is going to be a much more enjoyable playthrough. So, but yeah, I am enjoying it. Like I said, designs are great, everything like that. There's just something about the movement that just. Maybe it's coming from Wolfenstein after just jumping off of that. Maybe it's just not my type of paced shooter, if you will. But I don't hate it. I'm still playing it. I'm enjoying what I'm playing, and I do like the story. There's something off about that movement that it just doesn't vibe with me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you can feel it, right? Like you played Wolfenstein just recently. Like you're running around, you're kind of doing stuff. Like you're just like smoothing and fluing all around. And with this one, it's a little more rigid. It's a little more stiff. Very tanky.
To be fair, I've played this game a billion
times. I know.
It feels just like this game always has to me. And yeah.
But like even outside of just this game, I like Wolfenstein obviously and like Doom, they feel like how they do because of like what they're trying to emulate, but then like bring to the next level, right? So it's like the boomer shooter, but then like taking it a step up to be like. We're intense doing this fast-paced action shooter. But, like, I think this feels just like any other sort of first-person, like, shooter RPG, like a Fallout.
It's been so long since
or like a...
So, yeah, I mean, it's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything that has, like, a Fallout-y kind of, like, or like a, you know, shooter RPG vibe, I feel like that's how they all feel. Like, That's how they all feel.
Yeah. Flawless.
Yeah, no, not flawed. So, not to mention, like, I'm picking up these diaries and shit like that, and it's like, I'm picking up diaries, splicers are talking over them, like, I'm not hearing everything in the diary, I'm getting 2 or 3 diaries at once. I think the diaries and the little audiobooks are very cool because they do the great thing of letting me fucking listen to them while I'm continuing to play the game.
And this is how most of the story gets told.
Yeah, and I love that, but like I'm missing some because I'm pressing onto it, and all of a sudden I run around and the Slicer's like, "Oh, what are you doing over there?" And they coming at me with their knives and shit like that. I'm like, I just missed out on the fucking diary thing. You want me to pause it now and play it again? Like, Jesus.
So you'll be happy you can play it again and keep running, and it'll keep talking. So
It's not happening.
So in the medical pavilion, we're still trying to get to emergency access, which would allow us to get to Neptune's bounty. And we have to go through the splicers. We're also introduced to a couple other mechanics throughout this one. So like we can buy things now from different vending machines. As Press, as you mentioned, you can buy like ammo and health and stuff like that. You can also hack those machines, so things are cheaper. There is a hacking mini game, so it's a little puzzle where you replace pipes as like ooze moves through
The pipe
them.
mini game. Yeah,
You have to create a path before the end of the ooze reaching, and if you do, you win, and congratulations. You can hack vending machines, you can hack turrets, so they'll fly with you and be your little pal. You can hack cameras, so they'll send security bots after other people. You can hack health stations, so health costs less. We'll also find more plasmids through this playthrough. You get like fire and telekinesis and maybe ice guaranteed. Like I think they place those on the critical path. You can also find, like I got enrage, so you can shoot like little balls at people and it makes like those people angry and they'll fight other things. You can find dummy, which will send out like a duplicate you and everything will be attracted to that. You can also find a little bug one that like will just send bugs out and like sting, like bees and things and sting. So I don't know if you guys found some of those others.
Yeah. I like the one that you can throw
found-
to where it's like you can have like the big daddies attack other things. Like, hey, I'm gonna throw this gooey thing on it, and the big daddy's gonna attack those people.
The enrage
I got one for
yeah.
the turret as well, but like I prefer hacking those turns more than anything. Like I will brute force run at a fucking turn just so I can press that hack button real quick. Just be like, fuck it, hit the turret, go ahead and get that hacked, and then back away real quick, and that turret starts taking out the dudes in the room. Like that's what I want.
You know you can shock the turrets and they'll stop.
I know. I realized that later on, but like, there's some times where like you don't have enough fucking magical power, whatever you want to call it. You don't have the plasma or whatever. Like it's
you definitely have it before you meet any turret in this game.
No, I'm saying your mana pool, whatever that fucking blue juice is.
Eve.
I run out of that.
Eve.
And sometimes you don't have the juice. Sometimes you just doesn't have the juice.
Yeah,
That's
so I
true.
mean,
Sometimes you're just lacking the juice.
True. I mean, you are playing on easy
Lacking the
now,
juice.
and with easy, you cannot run out of Eve. By the way, it
I will find
continue
out.
to go up.
I did at the end of this path.
There is that. So what you actually mentioned, Preston, is you don't get a plasmid for the hacking, but there are like other skill buffs you get. So I have a note here, like you get like wrench jockey that makes you hit harder, armor skin that takes less damage, hacking buddy lets you hack faster. There's a ton you can find.
I got the one that if you get hit by someone, like every 15 seconds,
You
I
send
get
out
hit
a
by someone,
shock.
it sends out a shock, which is really nice. So if someone sneaks
Yep.
up on me, like
That's
if I
a good
don't
one.
notice the guy behind me, he hits me, he goes shh,
Yeah.
like good. I like that one.
Shock jockey. There's like 3 or 4 different kind of categories, like a battle category and a support that's more like the hacking and stuff, and there's like a category for your health and whatnot. And eventually you can unlock, I think, up to 6 slots in each one. So there's tons of these things.
Yeah.
I think I probably found 12 to 15 different.
I found a
ones in
lot.
this
Yeah.
playthrough.
I got all
Bunches.
4 slots unlocked as far as my plasmids. So all the main hand plasmids that I have, like I can actually just have those equipped and not have to
Yeah.
go back to the station and swap out. Because at first, that's what the issue is. Like, okay, you got 2. You got the electrical one, and then you got the the telekinesis one.
Telekinesis
and
is
and as
second,
long as you
yeah.
get fire, and it's like, okay, well I have 2 slots. I can't switch them on the fly. I have to go to these vending machines to do so. So as soon as I got to the spot that let me get new slots, I'm like, yep, we're just gonna get 4 right now because I'm not going back to these vending machines. I want these.
Being your first playthrough, you will never use telekinesis unless you're just trying to pull something, like pull ammo to you.
That's what I
or
was. I
something.
mean, I played the
You're
game. I'm like, well,
just-
maybe there's gonna be something to where it's like, hey, I can pull these items and get them to me, or something like that. And like,
Oh,
the
just
grenades-
the tutorial part where they make you pull the grenade and
grenades,
throw
yeah.
it. That's the only
That's
one.
it. Okay.
There, nothing else is critical. There are places you can pull like
Sure.
ammo and whatnot, but there's nothing critical. So, along with that, you'll also start to find audio logs, much like System Shock. A lot of the story is told through audio logs. If you're not interacting directly with Atlas, this is where we get much of the goings on in Rapture. I don't know how many I found. I know I found them all in this beginning playthrough. Just so you guys know, there is 122 in this game.
It checks out.
Just FYI.
There's a lot just in this first part.
Oh my god, I forgot. I did not.
I
That's,
found at least 20 in this first part. At least.
Yeah, you should probably have found more.
They're pretty short, too. Yeah, they're not super duper long.
They are.
You should
They
have
are.
probably found more.
No, I shouldn't have.
So one of my favorite parts of these actually comes like in one of the audio logs in this level is from Dr. Steinman. He plays an important part at the end of this level, and is like, Ryan, Adam and Ryan, like all those years of study. I was never truly a surgeon before I met them. Is like how we plinked away with our scalpels and our toy morality. Yeah, we could lop a boil here, we could shave down a beak there, but could we really ever change anything? No. But Adam gives us the means to do it, and Ryan frees us from the rule of ethics that held us back. So you can change your look, you can change your sex, you can change your race. It's yours to change, nobody else's. And I thought this was interestingly progressive for the city that we have here. Now, I don't know that it's a good thing that you don't put guardrails on what people are doing with this stuff, because crazy people are going to do crazy things and probably not always the best. But I like that little insight to where, like, hey, we were always this progressive place, but I felt like I couldn't take my research far enough. But with Adam, we realized you could change all kinds of things. Also, we realized you could change your sex and your race and your powers and your skin and everything else. We were just like, nah, fuck it. Let's do whatever we want. Like, let's go crazy. Thus, leading to the situation we're in. We also hear another audio log at one point from somebody named Tenenbaum. And she will pop. She's an important player in all of this too. And she is a German doctor. And her first one that you come across is like, at the German prison camp, they put me to work on genetic experiments on other prisoners. They would call me Das Wunderkind, right? The wonder child. Just like Germans, all they can talk about is like blue eyes and the shape of the forehead. All I care about is, why is this one born strong and that one weak? Or why is this one smart and that one stupid? All that killing, you think the Germans would have been interested in something more useful. Tenenbaum was like, I'm gonna leave here and take my talents to Rapture, and that's what she did. Just good old eugenics. Not really better.
And the best part is she's like fairly clear about. She's like, the blue, like, I'm not interested in the blonde hair, blue eyes. I'm really into measuring skulls. I really want to get into like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, that wasn't like right when she started. She's basically like, blonde hair, blue eyes, that's cute. I want into super racism. That's what I want.
It's really interesting, like, insight into the characters, because, like, Atlas said in the very beginning, right, when you're like, find that little sister, he's like, look, man, all the morality that like used to survive on the surface, like, that shit doesn't exist here. This place is a place for thinkers and creatives, and it's not always right, but like your black and white doesn't survive here. So you do start to see this like really
a libertarian paradise.
Yeah, that's fact. I don't know that there are taxes. You get what you make, and you make what you can think up, and that's really how Rapture works. So at the end of Medical Pavilion, we run into a very much alive Dr. Steinman. Right, we'd only heard him through audio logs up to this point. And he's in his medical lab, and this is something. So he's like working, there's a body on the table, and the body's yelling. He's like, what can I do with this one, Aphrodite? She won't stay still. Like, I can make them beautiful, but they always turn out wrong. He's like, this one too fat, and a light pops up, and you see this like person almost crucified hanging from the top. And he's like, this one too tall, and another light pops up, and there's a person hanging behind him. Like, this one too symmetrical. Same thing, right? And now he's like, what's this? An intruder. And he starts getting really freaked out. He's like, and this one's ugly, ugly, ugly. And thus leads into our first fight, our first boss of the game. Pretty straightforward. Essentially use whatever you can. Use your plasmids, use your guns. There is water laying around, so if you pay attention, you can shock him into place and just beat the hell out of him. There's no difference in a lot of these bosses from normal enemies other than bigger health pools. It's really it.
Yeah.
Right, and like he carries an automatic, where a lot of the leadhead splicers carry revolvers. The one thing though with a lot of the bosses, and this is true with enemies, but doesn't happen as much, if you let him out of your sight and he runs to the nearby medical station, he will heal himself, and that is not a locked animation to the point where you can damage him. He will take your bullets, you will waste your ammo, he will then come out perfectly healed, and you have to do it again. So I don't know if that happened to you guys.
That was a later boss where I realized, I'm like, oh, they heal themselves. How nice. Okay, good to know.
Did Peach do that to you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just so you know, things can't pass through you. So if you position yourself in front of it, he'll just constantly run to you and not fight back. So you can actually kind of glitch things if you want. You can stand in front of it and he'll just run into you, and you can just kill him just for future if you want. So we beat Steinman. We continue our way to emergency access. We walk into a room. We hear little sister screaming, and right then we kind of get some flashbacks of the plane. And Atlas comes on. He was like, "Hey, it's a little one. Like, here's your chance. Grab some Adam." And I'm not sure what he means by that, because like we've been getting syringes of Adam the whole time. I think he just means like, man, you want that good, like right from the source. So why don't you grab that little sister?
You're only getting little bits. This is like the little sisters. They drop like it's like 80 or 100 at a time.
Yeah. So we walk into the room, and the splicer is again going after the little sister, but like this time there's no Big Daddy to step in. It's just nowhere to be found. And then shots ring out from like nowhere. The splicer goes down. We look up to the left, and we see, it turns out Tenenbaum is also alive, like Dr. Steinman. We've only heard them through audio logs. And Atlas is like, he tells her to come down and says like, look, we're just looking for Adam, right? Like just enough to get by. And he says that she says she won't let us hurt her little ones. And then Atlas is like, look, that's not a kid anymore. So like, do what you need to do. And Tenenbaum looks at us. She was like, look, if you have a heart, there's no reason to hurt this little girl. Atlas just screams over the intercom. He's like, pretty convenient coming from you talking about having a heart. Like, you turned her in to this thing in the first place. And he then turns attention to us like, you're not going to survive without Adam that those things are carrying. So you're either prepared to trade your life or take it from her. And he says, trade your life or the lives of my wife and child for Tenenbaum's little Frankensteins. And just like, that got me, because like technically these would be little Frankenstein's monsters and Tenenbaum would be Dr. Frankenstein, but
people do it all the time.
Just saying.
You would think Alex in this world, like he's sitting there as Jack and he like pushes his actually
Frankenstein's the doctor, not the monster.
I'm just saying, if you're loosely basing your story off the literary works of Ayn Rand and Atlas Shrugged, you should probably be accurate when it comes to other literary works. So as we get closer to the little sister, Tenenbaum's like, wait, she's like, maybe there's another way. So she tosses us down this vial. She's like, here, take this. And it looks like a plasmid. It's not a plasmid, just a big vial. But we drink it, and it's kind of like an atom container is what it seems like. So anyway, like this introduces a new mechanic, and this is our morality choice. So this game does have a morality tracker in it, where you essentially have the choice to purify the little sister of her atom, where you turn her back into a normal little girl, and she just crawls off in her little pipes, and she returns to the safety of Tenenbaum, which we'll see later in the game. Or you can harvest the atom, which comes out as like a worm from her, and she dies. So, and you actually get more atom by doing that. Mm-hmm. So which one have you guys done? Have you done the
rescue?
Save?
That's what I do, yeah.
Rescue?
I only rescue, yeah.
Okay, well I figured, so I will be doing harvest on all of them. So if you rescue, you get 80 atom. If you harvest, you get 120 atom. The only way to purchase everything in the game is by harvesting. It does. So there's actually 3 endings to this game. So there's the true good, which is by saving every little girl. There's the true bad by harvesting the atom from every little sister. And then there's the in the middle, which is you either split it or you only interacted with this one and didn't do it again. Because you can you can't just ignore everything, right? Like from here on, every time you go to the map menu, you can see an icon at the bottom of the screen that's like a big daddy and little sister that shows you how many are at each level. You do not have to interact with them. You can complete the entire stuff without ever doing that. They will go on about their business. You can also kill the big daddy and harvest it for maybe resources and ammo and money, and then not interact with her. But if you do any mix of that, they count this first one as a choice. So you would get the in-between medium ending. So just a fun little thing. That brings us to our Chapter 3 title card, Neptune's Bounty. So Atlas kicks off by telling us that power got to Andrew Ryan. So like he's the one that built this place. He's the one to run it into the ground. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Maybe he went mad. Maybe he just decided he didn't like people. Whichever way you slice it, good men died. And Atlas is like, my family's in the submarine hidden in the foundation of this place, a place called Fontaine Fisheries. So that's where we're headed through this level. We hack, we shoot, we fight, we kill. We encounter some splicers. We encounter some new splicers, like the spider splicer. This one, unlike
we
the...
have to take some photos of certain splicers.
Unlike the leadhead ones that just run up and try and beat you or shoot you. Yeah, the spider splicers can crawl on the walls, can crawl on the ceilings.
That quest was so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I know we're gonna run through this area, but I just want to say I forgot about that. So like I was playing through and I was like, all right, like I'm gonna have to explore. I know I was like what I remembered from Bioshock was running around, exploring the map, finding things, and then just like you get to explore it at your own leisure. Like it tells you where to go as far as an objective is concerned, but you can, if you want to spend the time to run through a zone and look for things and get extra, you can do whatever you want, right? But then I forgot, I was like, oh yeah, there's like certain quests that you get, like you have to go do. And then when it was doing the camera one, I was like, oh, because as soon as you take the photo, then it's like, now you do 4% more to this, and I was like, oh fuck, I fucking forgot about this. I was like, this sucks, dude. Like it's not that big of a deal. You really, like, especially on normal difficulty, you don't really have to interface with it all that much outside of that one quest, I think. I don't remember if there's more, but I was like, God, this system's garbage. I hate this. Like,
So, to your point, like, we eventually make it to Fontaine Fisheries, and the door is closed. Like, a peephole opens. There's, like, crazy eccentric guy. His name's Peach Wilkins. And he is like, hey, Atlas radioed ahead, says you're looking for an invite to the fisheries. Like, I think that's nuts, but whatever. Like, if you can help me out, I'll let you in here. Basically, I need you to go get a camera from the master's office, the wharf master's office. So we do. We go out, we get the camera. First thing you do is you take a new picture of the spider splicer. And, Christian, to your point, a bar goes up, it goes bing, and, like, moves up, and you do a little bit more damage. You
have to do 3 of them.
3 what?
Photos.
You have to find 3 spider splicers to take the photos.
You have to find, because you can't just take 3 photos of one spider splicer. You have to find 3 spider splicers throughout this whole fucking map. And
luckily, the path will get you there. But at first, I was wondering, like, man, I'm gonna have to walk
Yeah.
around this entire place looking for these guys. So I'm looking around, I'm like, I see lead. I'm taking pictures of the lead guys. And I'm like, finally, okay, they'll just be on the way here. I'm like, that's
I know, and then you take like 10 photos of lead guys, and it's like, you're running out of film, and I'm like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah, so the best way to do this is just, like, shock one of them and then just run right up, point blank, and take a photo. The closer you are, the more like, if you get an action shot without shocking them, you get more points or whatever. You can level that shit up faster. Essentially, for every splicer in the game, you can level it up 3 times. And every time you level it up, you either get more health or more damage or whatever. To Christian, to your point, on normal and easy, you don't have to interact with it beyond this one mission to get you through the door, and you can move on. If you're playing on hard, it's like you have to. It's pivotal because, like,
enough
the
damage.
the buffs you get, and the health stuff, like you can't survive if you don't. So I think my spider splicers are leveled up all the way, and my leadhead splicers are leveled up all the way because I'm just in the habit of, like, dude, anytime I run into a room, if one runs up to me, I pull up camera, shock, snap a shot, switch back, hit it once, kill it, move on to the next one. But, like, I mean, I'm in Fontaine Fisheries, It took me 5 minutes of my time,
They're
and
all
like
over
I don't
the
have to do
place.
Leadhead anymore. I don't have to do Spider anymore. I'm only gonna have the Houdini left, I think, and that's it. So.
I did it once
What
for like
is,
the Rosies just to find out what their weakness was, because that's one
Oh
thing
yeah,
it
that's
does show
right.
you.
I have to finish off the Big Daddies too.
It's like, hey, like I'm like, well, I would like to know like what ammo is best for these guys. So I did that just to kind of find out, but yeah.
What'd it tell you?
I think it said like
What,
anti-personnel rounds. Personnel rounds are
No,
for
it's-
the Big Daddies.
No, it's wrong. Don't,
Armored, I'm
don't.
sorry, armored rounds.
It's wrong. Only just Electrobuck in your shotgun will take it out in 3 shots.
Okay, that's real nice to know. But to be fair, I only had
Yeah.
found like 2 of those shells this entire playthrough so far. So
No, that's an explore problem. But I'm just saying,
I was say, what is
you
it?
can buy it too. Don't forget, you can buy it.
I know.
I don't remember what game we were playing, but Preston has had this saying a couple times, and I think that this applies directly to the camera thing, which is, ain't nobody got time for that.
No.
Yeah, well, sure. So if you're fighting the Big Daddies, if you use like the anti-personal and stuff, you'll go through clips.
Yes, Electrobuck is
Electrobuck
broken.
is
Yeah,
literally
okay.
it's literally on normal. I think it's 5 shots. On easy, I think it's 3. She's like boom, 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 and you're like, oh, okay. Anyway, and they can't move, right? They just get stuck in place, so it's ridiculous. So don't use your shotgun for anything other than Big Daddies, and you'll be fine. So once we get the research camera and we're able to equip it, take pictures, blah, blah, blah. Each time you get a buff, talked about that. Cool. So we get the camera, we get back to Peach, and we put everything we have on this like little scanner outside. He's like, cool, I'm going to put this shit on the pneumatic tube like at the end of this. Nobody's allowed in here with weapons, but you can come in now. So this is where our next boss fight happens. Oddly enough, our next boss fight is against Peach, this crazy person. This whole room is a fish freezer, and it turns like foggy, right? As like warm air comes in, meets with cold. We've all been there in a walk-in freezer. We all worked food services at one point. We know how that gets. Same thing
did.
here. So you hear Peach say,
It's the totally same thing. Yep.
I just open
so
the
now
window. If you want me to do that, it's
Yeah.
1 degree outside right now.
He's like, now I bet when your boss waggled out of hell, he done told the devil he'd be right back, and the devil said, sure thing, Mr. Fontaine, I'll hold you a spot. Ryan promised Fontaine was dust, and now here you are doing his dirty. I guess that makes Ryan a bum and you Atlas. He was ours. So what happened essentially here, Peach went to Ryan because he's like, look, this asshole Fontaine runs the wharf. I think I could run it better. He signs kind of a mob deal. So Ryan's like, cool, you can run the wharf. I'll take out Fontaine. You can help me move things like Adam into the fisheries area, right? We'll get people hooked. And it was all good. Although when we make it here, the word of Atlas has kind of moved around. Like there's this guy kind of doing his own thing, trying to pull power away from Ryan. So Peach just assumes that's who we are, and then kind of gets pissed off at Ryan of like, oh, he didn't kill Fontaine. Fontaine hired Atlas. You're Atlas, and you're here to fight me. It's very convoluted. All that say this dude's fucking nuts. So pretty basic fight. Again, also not writing this from a guide, just watching the Let's Play after I beat it and just writing it.
That's how I usually do mine. Yeah.
Played this game enough. So again, pretty basic fight. Guy doesn't have powers. He will call in security turrets, which is probably the most annoying thing, and he's hard to see. So you can lose him, and he can get to the health thing pretty quick if you don't know where it's at. The best way to do it: shock the first, second turret, hack it. Now they fight for you. Find him. Or if you want, he can call one turret. You can stand between him and the health thing. The turret never really comes around the corner, and you can just kill him that way too. Pretty easy.
Also, if you hack the health things, because time stops when you're hacking, you can hack the health things, and then it does damage to them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it shocks. Yeah, it shocks them when they go up to
Cool.
get it. You're right.
Good
They
knowledge.
can. So once it's done, you walk to the end of the place in that pneumatic tube. You get your stuff back, and you move on. Atlas tells us like, "Cool, should be smooth sailing from here." So we'll just meet up right ahead at the bathysphere at the end of this place. So we get as we're making our way up there, we have to take a little detour up some stairs to like walk up and around, and we kind of get up to like this the wharf manager's room where we can see down into the wharf and where the bathyspheres come in and transport stuff. And like we see Atlas walking up there, and Ryan comes over the comm, and he's like, "It's so dark in here. If only your friend could look up and see you." And you start to hear some noises and some splicers moving around as fog comes in. He's like, "Maybe you could just warn him. If only you could do something, anything, except just stand there and watch him die." And right then we hear Atlas over the intercom fighting with these splicers, and he runs off. Right? He's like, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna regroup. We're gonna run away. And he's like, make your way up to them, and I'll meet you back up there. So we fight our way around this place, back up to where we see the bathysphere, where we're just killing a bunch of splicers, and right as we get, I don't know, maybe 25 yards from it, everything explodes. And as you run forward, the bathysphere is blown open. There's a couple dead bodies, one of a woman, one of a child, who we assume are Atlas's wife and kid. Atlas screams, and Ryan comes back on. He was like, "You ooze like an assassin." And then you try and sneak out like a thief. You're no CIA spook. He's like, "Who are you? And why have you come here?" Regardless, there are two ways to deal with a mystery.
Andrew Ryan also took some 70s racism with him down to Rapture.
It is a spook.
Yeah.
It was like, there are two ways to deal with this mystery: uncover it or eliminate it. Atlas then tells us to get out of here, just make your way to Arcadia, and he's like, "Run." So we walk forward to the airlock. It locks, we see the title for Arcadia, and that's where we end our playthrough for part 1. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
Okay, I can go really fast. So just to that playthrough part, I complained about the camera thing because I just was like, oh god, I forgot about this. But honestly, the only thing that happened was I forgot how much the exploration part of this game is mandatory. Because the first time when I went to go to the fisheries, I took the photos and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna head my way. I looked around enough. I was like, there's some areas that I didn't get to, but I was like, but whatever. And I gotta walk to the fishery store, and I get a giant pop-up that pauses my game and freezes it. It was like, hey, you have plenty of little sisters that are still on this floor, and you need Adam to complete this game. So just as a fucking heads up. And I was like, damn. I was like, oh, fair, okay, I will turn around and go do that. I just thought it was crazy. I was like, I in my head, I remember this so much. I just remember just the main points of the game, right? So I just remember going from bop to bop to bop to bop, and I just forget how much sort of meandering there is in between all that stuff. The other thing I'm trying to do is I'm really trying to divorce my knowledge of the rest of this series from this game right now, because this game, this chunk of the playthrough, I think is a very strong open, right? Atlas is a great character. He's a great narrator that hangs out with you. It's very good, and it's immediate. It's a very easy buy-in to be like, okay, I need to get out of here, and this dude's got a wife and kid. I can get that. We gotta save them. Get the fuck out of here. Let's, I'm bought in. And then having the murder and Andrew Ryan be this crazy ass villain, all this other stuff, and just he's immediately even in his original, when you're coming down to Rapture, although I think that there's people today that clearly didn't understand why Andrew Ryan is such a fucking asshole, but either way, you come down this and you're hearing his speech and everything, and he just becomes immediately pompous and annoying, and you're just like, oh, it's so easy to hate you. This is a slam dunk. It is very hard experiencing all of this and then being like, yeah, man, I forget, this is, good stuff here. And then just thinking to yourself, all of this is fake, and every single piece of this that's happening is just Elizabeth beyond the corner. Every single...
We don't know that.
You don't know that, and in fact, you may not even get a chance to experience it in this book club either.
If that happens, you're a coward. But it's just funny. Like, I just keep thinking, like, every single time one of these big plot points happen, I'm always like, man, I don't know it, and nobody knows it right now, but Ken was thinking this entire time that right beyond this corner of this wall, right where we just can't see, but just right down the hallway, there's Elizabeth making all this shit happen.
You actually think Ken had that planned out from the beginning? I don't. I think he came up with an interesting character in this up top cloud world and was like, how do we tie this in? I think that was a last second Hail Mary that he hoped to pay off and did not. I don't think
honestly,
he had that forethought.
Man, I don't know, only because it would be one thing to have like just a couple of those moments be shoehorned into, you know what I mean? Just be like, oh, here's some major things, and like, oh, we'll just have Elizabeth here. But it's like, no, it really does do like every single major moment in Bioshock is just like, oh, yep, she's just right here. You just can't see her, but she's right here. And like maybe, but I don't either way. I don't know. It's mostly just me being sarcastic. But
I'm not as torn because I never played Burial at Sea because I was sort of turned off by the end of Infinite that I never played the 2 DLCs.
Yeah.
But I have them, so when we get there. Anyway.
Either way, but yes, no, but honestly, it's just been, I think that especially like I love 2 as well. So like 1 and 2, I think, are such a good 1-2 punch. I know 2 wasn't made by Ken, and honestly, it's better for it. But I think that all these moments, like this nice chunk was like a perfect, like, bind. I know sometimes when we do these book clubs, like, you know, the intro, like when we try to split it up, it's like, oh, did we stop at the right point? And there's sometimes where, like, when we're in here, like, I don't know, we'll see where it goes. But like this one was like a nice, like a very solid.
It worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
So I'm enjoying the game. It was a little thrown off by the movement, stuff like that. But other than that, the narration's there, the art design's there. I am getting acclimated to how I should be playing the game. I'm not really seeing. I mean, there is a little bit of exploration, but like I'm not feeling I'm forced to be doing anything. Like anytime I see a big daddy with a little sister, I take care of it. Right. I haven't had to go searching for any of them. They've always been within my path. Same thing with the photos, the 3 photos I had to take. I thought I was going to have to search around for it, but heading towards the pathway, the advancement of going to new places, like I just got those. So I'm not really feeling too much of the exploration. I know I can explore. I have gone down like a different path or gone over here. But yeah, not too much exploring. Like I said, I did knock it down to easy once I hit Peach. Just because I was dying a whole bunch. I did not know about the whole health station.
Honestly, you might not have gotten that pop up because you're on easy. Like there might be just the damage amount. It doesn't matter. They just let it happen.
That's true.
I was trying to think like, is there a plasmid or anything that's required to beat the game? I don't know that there is. So yeah, I don't know that you're required to have a certain amount of atom. But on normal and like it's specifically hard. Like you have to. Honestly, you can totally beat the game by not harvesting them. But
struggle.
It's best on hard if you just harvest them all, just because you need all the atom to buy other stuff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I don't see myself breaking off this one in the middle of a book club or anything like that. I will be going through it. I'm curious to see 2 because I know that people like 2 a lot more as well. And I liked the trailer for Infinite when I saw it. I have never heard good things about it since then. So we're curious. I'll get into it. I think I did play Infinite for like a hot minute, but yeah, it's probably the same amount I played Bioshock 1 back in the day. I probably played that much of Infinite too. So
there's a cool
God, can I tell you,
George
I would
Washington
do
if you like
to be on a fly on the wall, like early Xbox 360 generation, and watch young Preston put a fucking Bioshock disc in, play through, and be like, all right, man, let's see what all this is about. I hear all this hubbub, get through like a couple hours, and he's like, this plays like shit, and he ejects it, takes it right back to GameStop, and then 4 years go by, and he gets like a EGM magazine in, and he's like, gets the thing he sees for Infinite, and he's like, all right, you know what? I'm back in. I'll try it again. And then he puts Infinite back in. He goes, yep, still plays like shit. And then just like ejects it and fucking takes it out.
This was definitely a GameFly era for me, for sure. This is definitely one of those games like, I'll try it out. Or like, maybe it was like free for something, or maybe I borrowed it from a friend. Who knows what happened? It was 20 years ago. But still, I dropped off of it. I can see why I would drop off it. Not that it's a bad game. It's just not a game that I would normally choose to play. I will get through it. I'll play it. I might even enjoy it, just like I did Metal Gear, where I was starting to play. I'm like, I don't know about this game. This is not my type of game. And then maybe towards the end, I actually really enjoy it. But yeah, so far, story's good. I probably need to stop and listen to some more of those diaries rather than plus play on them and start walking around and advancing my areas, because everything is just talking over everything at that point.
And there's certain characters you can pay attention to as well. Like, you know, in this first playthrough, there's an audio diary between two people that you find in bed dead, right? And it's like talking about, you know, how she
or like the
was,
dude that's like, there's one that's like down.
Yeah.
There's like dude like in the right before the fisheries. There's like these like whole stairs that you can run down and then like find like
he's trapped underneath like,
and he's like trapped, like he's like crucified like on this like fucking like electrical cross thing. Like that's a good one. To Alex's point, there's 120 of them. Some of them are stinkers. But
yeah,
like,
they're like anyone that pops up from Tenenbaum, you probably want to listen to. And then like if you meet a character, right?
Big
like
names,
if you meet Peach and or like, you know, you're in Fontaine Fisheries, you might want to listen to those. But a lot of them are just little like side things. So we're gonna. I'm very happy with where we ended, and I know we were gonna stop at Neptune's Bounty. But I actually texted these guys, said, let's go to Smuggler's Hideout, because it's like an extra 10 minutes on top, and it allowed us to end where we did.
You actually, at the end of the last episode, said that we were going to stop at Smuggler's Bounty. So we only did that little bit of extra to finish Smuggler's Bounty or whatever. That's the only, like, but we're pretty much, people will be...
Smuggler's Hideout, yeah.
Smuggler's Hideout, I'm saying yes. Smuggler's Hideout, so, yeah.
It's 10 minutes, but really that allowed us to end like with the big set piece of like, you know, his family dying.
Yeah.
I think the next one's going to end on another big set piece, so I'm really super excited about it. So we are going to play, we're going to start in Arcadia. So we're going to play 5 levels. The playtime's going to be about the same. But Arcadia, Farmer's Market, we're going to end after we complete Rapture Central Control. So I'll text this to you guys, but essentially you're going to see, like, you'll finish that one. This is only the second area in the game, like the welcome area, that you cannot go back to. Every other point you can go back to in the game. This is a one-shot level. So when you see Olympus Heights title card, you can stop there. But we're going to finish Rapture Central Control. You'll probably know, there's a big set piece, like you'll know. I'm excited about this part because Fort Frolic is my absolute favorite.
Is this going to end up being a 3-parter or a 4-parter?
A 3-parter.
3, okay.
This game breaks it pretty nicely into 3. I'm super excited about this. For somebody that doesn't like spoopy games, Press, I'll just tell you, Fort Frolic gets a little spoopy.
So far, I've been fine. Like, I'm not as scared as I was when I first played this game. Like, I'm going like, whatever, man. I got plasmas and shit like that, and like they're not that scary. Like, they're not. No one's jumping out at me or anything like that. I can handle some weirdos with some cuts on their faces and some.
It's not a lot of jump scares, and it's a lot of ambiance stuff. So like, oh, blood on the wall, blood on the floor. Like, oh, right, scary. It's not that bad. Fort Frolic, it's fun.
Appreciate that.
So that's where we're gonna play. Super excited with this one, and with that, everybody, don't forget to check in on Sundays with Preston Star Wars Sundays, and of course, we'll have a new episode for you next week. And join us for part 2 of this game. And with that, Preston, you know what to do.
Time to go to bed. Hit it.
I chose something different. I chose the impossible.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or to check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. If watching is more your thing, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/@thetestingroom, or watch us live on twitch.tv/testingroomlive. To leave comments or ask questions, you can follow us on Instagram @testingroompod, leave a comment on YouTube, or send them in to testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.